This is Erin Luchterhand for my video journal for EDUU 677 to review the evidence-based practices that I have been implementing and observing in my fieldwork. My last video recording, I talked about choosing between the parent-implemented intervention as well as the assistive technology, and how naturally I would have geared towards the PII because it was more academic, or it allowed me to do more academic, but that I had kind of shifted gears and wanted to focus on the assistive technology because of the influence put and the impact put on it during the IEP meeting by our assistive technology and speech and language coordinator. And so I've kind of actually been doing both of those simply because I do work in the virtual setting, and with this particular student, it requires significant parent support to make this a successful environment for him. So in that regards, one of the things that we've been doing for the PII has been modeling. And so we're working particularly on sentence structure and tying that in with a little reading comprehension. This particular student is pretty impacted with autism. He's a fourth grader. He's on a modified IEP, modified curriculum. He also is pretty nonverbal. He can do approximations, so he has the Proloquo to go on an iPad for the assistive technology. And so we've been working on comprehension, but also that oral auditory comprehension, as well as that sentence, writing a sentence. And so what I'll do is pull up a picture. I'll have him identify different parts of the picture, what's green and where are the red pants, and point to XYZ, and then he's got to find the corresponding word from a pile of words that his dad has in front of him. He's very successful at that. He's very smart when it comes to those kind of things. He easily identifies the items in the picture. He easily identifies the word we're looking for, especially given, the phonetic sound at the beginning of the word. He's very good at figuring out, at least within several that start with the same sound, which word it would be. And then from that, either I will give him the starting word or the starting two words to the sentence, but then he will finish the sentence. And so what we're finding is that he does a great job at putting the primary words together in the correct order, but he's missing those conjunctions, any transitional words, things like that. So we're really having to support going back in and having him put the conjunctions in the appropriate places. So one of the techniques we've been employing has been modeling. And so with parent intervention, I have been having his dad do the modeling. So we'll look at the picture, he'll identify items in the picture, he'll identify the words correctly, and then his dad will model one sentence for him, rearranging, using that kinesthetic hand motion, rearranging the word cards on the table in front of him, giving him that model and that example, and then this particular student has to go back and recreate that same sentence. We do that once or twice, and then we have him create his own sentence, going back to having him be a little more independent with it, trying to pull back where we can and evaluate how that modeling is being effective, how long we need to model before we can expect him to have that a little more independent, that skill a little more independently. So in addition to that, I've kind of just integrated that out of necessity, because in the virtual setting with this particular student, he wouldn't even sit at the table with me without somebody prompting him consistently. So out of necessity, that parent intervention has really been a need, and we found ways to make it successful in this environment for this student. And then I have also integrated the assistive technology into my class. He's brought his iPad to class, and when it comes to identifying words in the picture and on the cards in front of him, rather than his dad just saying, oh, this is what he pointed to, we can prompt him to answer on the iPad. So for example, one of the pictures I showed him had the color green. It was green shirt or green grass. And so I said, well, Caden, what color is the grass, or what color is the shirt? And instead of pointing to the word and his dad telling me, he was able to use the iPad, go to the color section and hit green, and the iPad read it for him. Now that did take prompting from me, prompting from his dad to get him to do that. But it did give him a little bit more of a voice. So it is an evidence-based practice with that assistive technology that I really want to continue to integrate into our sessions, get him comfortable with those smaller pieces where he's identifying those comprehension pieces and verbalizing it through the iPad a little more. And then maybe go one step further and have him maybe form this sentence and then put it in the iPad, and then the iPad will read it for him. So I'm kind of trying to, you know, play around with it a little bit, navigating those single word responses and then building up from there. So that is how my EBPs are going, consistently improving, yet I see the need for that consistency for continued growth even beyond where we are.